I've whispered enough, hinted enough, danced around the truth. Now I'm laying it all bare. No more subtlety, no more guessing. This is me speaking clearly without holding back. I've dropped my last hint. If you still don't see it, maybe it wasn't meant to be. I'm done tiptoeing around my feelings. This is me, raw and unfiltered for you to understand. I've said it quietly before, but now I'll say it loud. This is exactly how I feel. No more clues, no more puzzles. Here's the truth I've been trying to hide in plain sight. I've tried to let my actions speak. Now my words will finally catch up. I've given you signs, but now I give you this. The truth without compromise. If hints could scream, I've screamed already. Now I'm speaking in full sentences. I've dropped every subtle message I could, and now I'll drop the most important one yet. I'm done hiding behind gestures and glances. This is my heart in words. I've been hoping you'd notice, but hope isn't enough anymore. Here it is. The truth. My hints were gentle nudges. This is the push you can't ignore. I've let silence do some of the talking, but now my voice will not be missed. I've hinted at the edges of my feelings long enough. Now I'll center them in plain sight. If you've been wondering, guessing, or waiting, this is your answer. I've danced around the truth out of fear. Now I step forward, unafraid and clear. My last hint was my patience. Now this is my clarity. I've given you breadcrumbs of my heart, and now I'm offering the whole path. I've been subtle, careful, and quiet. Now I'm bold, honest, and unshakable. The hints are gone. Only words remain, heavy with meaning, impossible to ignore. I've dropped every sign I could. Now I drop the words I've held back. I've tried to speak softly, hoping you'd hear. Now I speak strongly, hoping you'll understand. Hints are fragile things. Truth is strong, and this is the strength I bring. I've hinted at my heart's desires long enough. Now I hand them to you, fully visible. The game of subtlety ends here. I am clear, direct, and completely honest. I've dropped my last hint. If you don't hear me now, I don't know how else to say it. My patience has its limits. My clarity doesn't. Here is everything I've been meaning to say. I've whispered, suggested, and hinted. Now I speak like lightning, sudden, undeniable. The hints were just my practice. This is the real conversation, straight from my heart. I've dropped the subtlety. I've dropped the ambiguity. Now I only drop truth. Every look, every pause, every gesture led to this. my words, unmistakable and final. I've held back for too long, but the wait ends now with this clear declaration. My last hint was patience. This is honesty, bold and unwavering. I've tried to guide you gently. Now I point straight to my heart. No more guessing, no more signs. This is me, fully, finally, unmistakably. I've hinted and hoped, but hope can't replace honesty, so here is mine. I've dropped every clue I could muster. Now I drop the weight of my feelings. Subtlety has its charm, but truth has its power, and I am wielding it now. I've whispered, nudged, and hinted. Now I speak, and I will not be misunderstood. Every hint I gave was a shadow of what I truly feel. Now the light is on. I've been patient with signs, quiet with gestures, careful with hints. Now I am fearless. I've left breadcrumbs. Now I lay the whole trail, leading straight to my heart. I've hinted in ways word couldn't fully express. Now words take over, strong and clear. I've danced around my feelings. Now I step forward, firm and undeniable. Hints are delicate. Honesty is relentless. I am being relentless now. I've waited for you to notice, but waiting is over. Here it is, without filter. My last hint was a test of patience. My words now are a declaration of truth. I've hinted, nudged, and signaled. Now I stand, fully exposed, saying it straight. I've tried gentle ways. Now I choose clarity over subtlety. I've been quiet in ways meant to speak loudly. Now I only speak loudly. I've given you signs, whispers, and gestures. Now I give you this absolute honesty. I've dropped hints that barely scratched the surface. Now I reveal everything beneath. The hints were my way of loving carefully. The truth is my way of loving fully. I've hinted, I've waited, I've hoped. Now I simply speak without hesitation. Every hint I left was my heart in code. Now my words are the key. I've been subtle to protect us both. Now I am clear to reveal all. I have dropped my last hint, and with it, all pretense. Only truth remains. The hints were shadows. This is the light, shining clearly on my intentions. I've whispered, I've gestured, I've hoped. Now I speak because nothing less will do. I've dropped hints enough for a lifetime. Now I speak plainly because subtlety isn't enough anymore. No more guessing, no more reading between lines. This is my heart, fully exposed. I've nudged, gestured, and whispered. Now I speak, unafraid of the truth it carries. Every hint was my way of loving quietly. Now I speak loudly because you need to hear it. I've left pieces of myself scattered in hints. Now I give you all of me in words. I've hinted in shadows, but now I'm stepping into the light. This is me. I've tried subtlety, but my heart refuses to hide any longer. Here is the truth. I've given you every chance to see it on your own. Now I give it straight to you. Hints are fragile. Honesty is bold. I've chosen to be bold today. I've waited for signs to be noticed, but waiting has ended. This is my declaration. I've hinted, nudged, and paused. Now I speak with all the weight my heart can carry. I've left clues for weeks, months, maybe years. Now I reveal everything openly. My last hint was my patience. This is my courage, speaking words I've held back. I've danced around truth. Now I stand firm and speak it, leaving nothing unsaid. I've hinted, hoping you'd see the truth. Now I give it directly, so there's no mistake. I've tried subtle ways to show my heart. Now I speak boldly, because silence isn't enough. Hints have their charm, but clarity has power. And this is my power today. I've been patient, cautious, careful. Now I am fearless, speaking words that matter. I've left breadcrumbs of my heart. Now I lay the full path for you to follow. I've whispered, suggested, hinted. Now I roar the truth, so you cannot miss it. I've hinted softly to protect myself. Now I speak freely to protect nothing but honesty. Every gesture, every look, every pause led to this. My words, strong and unshakable. I've given hints like tiny sparks. Now I am fire, burning with truth you must see. I've hinted, paused, and waited for signs. Now I act, because nothing else will do. My last hint was my patience, wearing thin. This is my heart, spilling over in words. I've tried gentle ways to show my feelings. Now I speak, fully and without hesitation. Hints were a test of patience. My words now are a test of understanding. I've been quiet, careful, subtle. Now I am loud, bold, and undeniable. I've hinted at the edges of my feelings. Now I center them in plain sight for you. I've let gestures and glances do the talking. Now my words carry the weight. I've hinted, hoping, praying. Now I speak because hope alone isn't enough. I've waited for signs to be noticed. Now I give the answer directly, with no delay. I've whispered, hinted, paused. Now I speak, and nothing will obscure my meaning. I've left subtle signs, but subtlety isn't enough. Here is my heart in full. I've tried to protect you from my truth. Now I speak because you deserve it. I've hinted, nudged, and waited patiently. Now I speak, hoping you'll finally hear. My last hint was quiet, careful, restrained. This is loud, direct, and unignorable. I've hinted, danced around feelings, and waited. Now I step forward, fearless and clear. I've whispered, nudged, hinted. Now I speak, leaving no doubt of my intent. I've tried subtlety, hints, and gestures. Now I speak boldly, so nothing is left unseen. I've hinted in shadows, but truth belongs in the light. Here it is, bright and undeniable. I've left traces of my heart in hints. Now I give the full map for you to follow. I've hinted, paused, and waited for signs. Now I speak with clarity that cannot be missed. I've been patient, subtle, careful. Now I speak because time is too short for hints. I've whispered, hint, and hoped. Now I speak because hope isn't enough anymore. I've dropped hints, tiny nudges, subtle signs. Now I speak with all the force of truth. I've left my feelings in fragments. Now I assemble them in words you cannot ignore. I've hinted, waited, and whispered. Now I speak because silence has run its course. My last hint was my patience. Now my words are my courage, unflinching and true. I've hinted in gentle ways. Now I speak in ways that cannot be misunderstood. I've danced around my feelings. Now I stand still, bold and unwavering in my truth. I've hinted, gestured, paused. Now I speak plainly and nothing can dilute it. I've left clues in silence. Now my words shout the truth I've held close. I've been patient with hints. Now I am impatient with honesty. Here it is. I've whispered, hinted, and waited. Now I speak, because subtlety no longer suffices. I've left pieces of my heart in every hint. Now I lay it all bare in words. I've hinted in shadows, danced around truth. Now I step into the light and speak. I've whispered, nudged, and hinted. Now I speak because my heart demands it. I've hinted, paused, and waited. Now I speak with clarity that cannot be ignored.